The Miz has turned babyface in what I would call a very rushed program, and all roads lead to Sami Zayn winning the World Heavyweight Championship. Welcome to the Crossman Wrestling Monday Night Raw review. So the show starts off with, you guessed it, the Judgment Day. Rhea, Dom and JD McDonough come out and talk some shit. They just, we're the Judgment Day, we're the Judgment Day, we run Monday Night Raw, you know, all that stuff. Sami Zayn comes out and says that his name is no longer Sami Zayn, his name is Rebellion, Redemption, all this stuff. And Sami Zayn cuts a fire promo, and it looks like there's going to be a 3-on-1 until Ricochet comes out and makes the save. This leads into Ricochet versus Dirty Dom. Now, for some reason, Sami Zayn left Ricochet. Yes, it was 3-on-1 against Ricochet. Dominic picks up the win thanks to interference from the Judgment Day. Where did Sami go? Don't know. Next, we got the debut of the Creed brothers. I've never seen these guys before, but this was a great way to introduce them. One part in this match I did not like. Oh, two parts actually in this match I did not like. The first one, this could have been done very differently, where they did the suplex thing. They was holding Chad Gable up and then they swapped. But Otis was standing. This is the bit I didn't like. Otis was standing in his corner just watching all of this happen. He did not come and help his friend. He just was watching them manhandle Chad Gable. And the second part, when Otis was about to pin one of them, the other Creed brother, I do not know their names, I apologise, jumped on Otis to make the save, but then Chad Gable jumped on the other guy. That last bit of Chad Gable jumping on the other guy didn't make much sense to me. Overall, it was a decent match, it was a very good match, and I look forward to seeing what the Creed brothers can do in the future. If you have their names for me, please let me know in the comments below. And now for a segment I really liked, but I felt could have been done very differently, with some build. Now, The Miz and Gunther. The Miz had Gunther on Miz TV, and The Miz has turned babyface. Now, I feel like this is something that could have been done over time with The Miz, because The Miz has turned babyface twice before, and it has not worked both times. Now, will it work this time? I don't think so. They're going for The Miz versus Gunther. I know why they're going for The Miz versus Gunther. Two of the greatest Intercontinental Champions of all time. You can agree or disagree with that about The Miz, but in my opinion, and in a lot of other people's opinions, The Miz carried the WWE in 2016 to 2018, holding the Intercontinental Championship, making that championship relevant, more relevant than any championship in the WWE back in those days. He's took shots at Imperium, and Gunther just wiped the floor with him verbally. It's not often we hear Gunther talk, but Gunther says, this is why you're a talk show host, and I am a professional wrestler. I do my talking in the ring, and that is what Gunther does. That's why Gunther is so great. But again, The Miz just coming out and saying, yeah, I'm a good guy now, after his feud with LA Knight and mocking the fans. It just doesn't make much sense to me, and it's something I would have preferred to be done a bit differently. Overall, it was a good segment. The Miz left, and then DIY comes out, which leads to DIY versus Imperium. This is the debut match of DIY as a tag team on Monday Night Raw, and it wasn't bad. DIY pick up the win, but Giovanni Vinci seems to be injured. I don't think this is a work. I think he may legit be injured, so if he is, then Godspeed to him. But this leads to another injury, which this one I think is a work. Candice LeRae, which Michael Cole called Candice Michelle by accident, versus Xia Li, and it was one kick and she was down. Is this a work? I don't know. But they stopped the match. They did a match stoppage, and it seems very strange. I don't know if it's a work. I don't know if it's a real injury. If it is a real injury, then fucking fire this bitch, because this is the first match back and she's already injured someone. So if this is an injury that she has caused, then she needs to be punished. If not, then it's a great way to get her over, I guess. Got a Drew McIntyre video package where he says that he has been wronged throughout all of his career. He got fired. He had to main event WrestleMania with no fans, the bloodline, so on and so on. But the main takeaway from this is that he had a purple background, which signifies the Judgment Day. This led to Seth Rollins coming out, and I hate hearing Seth Rollins talk. I don't know if it's just me, but I can't stand Seth Rollins with this gimmick. I can't stand his wardrobe designs. I can't stand it. But that's just me. Anytime he comes out wearing big boots, I want to change the channel. But since Seth is coming out, it's time for a new segment here on Crossman Wrestling, and that is... Look in my eyes, what do you see? CM Punk reference on TV. So the CM Punk references we got this week, there's two main ones, but potentially a third one. Seth Rollins told Drew McIntyre to cry him a river. Becky Lynch said that she was the catalyst of change. And the one that's a potential one but not confirmed is Shinsuke Nakamura had a video package and he was calling somebody out. He did not name anyone, but considering that he's been doing the GTS in recent weeks, I'm going to assume, and a lot of people are assuming, it's CM Punk. Now back to Seth Rollins. He basically chastised Drew. He said that Drew hasn't had it as hard as everyone else, and that Drew is just being a crybaby. This led to Rhea Ripley saying that one of them has to make a decision. Either Seth or Drew has to make a deal with the Judgment Day by Crown Jewel. Will this lead to either man joining the Judgment Day? No, I don't believe so. I believe they'll both tell them to do one. But I've got predictions for this, and I will save that for tomorrow's predictions video. Then got Seth versus JD McDonough. Obviously Seth wins. JD McDonough right now is going through that Sami Zayn period, you know, where Sami Zayn was the bitch of the bloodline. This is sort of what they're doing with JD McDonough. Obviously, it is not as effective. It's not going to be, but it's what they're doing, and it's sort of working, and I like it. Something I didn't like at all, anytime they do Halloween, Raw or SmackDown, we always get a trick or street fight. And last year, they sort of made it work, but every other time, it's horrible. I hate it. And this year, it's horrible. I hate it. Natalya versus Chelsea Green. Oh my god, this match was so bad. I know some people like this. I know some people think it's fun, but I hated it. I despise everything about this match. They had all the gimmicks around and everything. It's just uncalled for. It really is. It makes it feel very childish. Especially when you've got Chelsea Green picking up a pumpkin and underneath the pumpkin is Nikki Cross just going... doing absolutely nothing, just staring into nothingness, and then Chelsea Green drops the pumpkin or puts the pumpkin on her head and goes woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. It was terrible. I hated every second of it. Chelsea Green wins. Never do this again. And finally, we get the main event: Sami Zayn versus Damian Priest. This was a good match, but ended in a DQ, led to a big brawl, which Cody Rhodes cut a promo saying to Damian Priest that he's going to fuck him up at Crown Jewel. And if you want to know my predictions for that Crown Jewel match, then you better check out tomorrow's Crown Jewel predictions, because I've got a lot of predictions and theories in mind. Overall, this Raw was not bad, but it was not good either. We had some banger matches and some banger promos, but the trick or street fight soured most of the show for me. I cannot stand this shit. The Miz's face turn, I can sort of put up with it because I like The Miz. I'm a big fan of The Miz, especially when you got The Miz versus Gunther, two Intercontinental Champions, two of the greatest ones of all time, going head to head. I like this idea. I do not like the way they've gone about it, but it is what it is. What do you think of this week's Monday Night Raw? Let me know in the comments below. Check me out on X. Follow me at TheCrossman25. I went viral yesterday. I didn't mean to, but I did. And I made a lot of people angry. And they was angry for some reason. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.